Thanks so much for tuning into this special broadcast of Ask PQ. I might as well call it the broking special, simply because the last few days, a lot of people have had queries with regards to two new things that have happened, which are the change in the rules, which is the pledging system and the margin system. And I think while a lot of confusion has been cleared by virtue of the communication efforts that the brokerages themselves have taken, we've got a bunch of queries on our website as well, on our Twitter accounts, about specific things that people had in mind. So we thought it best to do a query show wherein we ask two experts, and for lack of any better word, an offline broker and an online broker, so to say, to try and give their assessment of what is it that changes in the life of an average investor when she comes out to trade starting yesterday, which is Tuesday. So let's get Prakash Gagdani and Ashish Rathi on the show to talk about their thoughts on what does the new system, or what do the new systems have in place. Gentlemen, both of you, thanks so much for joining in. Good seeing both of you. Prakash, good seeing you again. Let's start off with you. How does the life change for an average investor when she comes out to trade, or when she has come out to trade starting yesterday from what it was before?
Yeah, very good afternoon, Neeraj. There is a huge change in the way a customer was trading before 1st of September and after 1st of September. Just to give you an example, before 1st of September, a customer either has cash or shares with a broker, and both are available as margin to trade. Now that has changed. Now a customer can only use the shares which are there in his DP account and which are pledged. Only those shares can be used as margin to trade, apart from obviously the cash which is there. But we all know that most of the leverage or the margins which are taken by customer are by using shares. Now these shares earlier could be in DP for POA customers, or for or in the broker's account. But now the system is changed. Now it can only happen if the shares are pledged. Now the change is also that the customer has to go and pledge themselves. So all the brokers, including us, we have created a front end where customer can see the shares which are there in his DP account, and then individually he will have to go and mark the pledge request. The request will go to the depository, which is CDSL or NSDL, and then a notification will be sent to customer from CDSL or NSDL, which through an OTP process user has to do. Once he completes this entire thing, the benefit of that share will be available to the customer on the next trading day. So that's a change when it is coming to the margin part. The second change is how the margin which is being used is getting changed for customers. So for example, typically a customer sells a share, he immediately gets instant credit. That is getting changed. If in certain circumstances you will not be able to get the benefit, rather you will have to have an upfront margin to be able to sell shares. Second, if you are buying shares, and most of the brokers were giving instant credit the next day for purchasing and using those shares as margin, even if they're settled or unsettled. Now a customer has to wait for at least 2 days for the shares to get settled, only to use that as margin. So and plus obviously BTST, a large part of trade happens BTST. Now there are changes also in BTST that most of the time you can't trade in BTST. If at all you're taking for example, you're taking leverage or margin funding, then situation gets complicated. So for a customer who was doing a seamless trading online till 31st, that's a change, and it's a huge change. And whenever you have these kind of systemic changes, especially in today's time, when a large chunk, and for brokers like us, almost 99% of the customers trade online. So when you have online trading, then the information getting passed on to customers and customers understanding. And please note a fact that most of these people are new to capital markets. So one, they're understanding capital markets. Second, they're also trying to understand the change. So I think
Right.
that has created a disruption in the market.
Yeah, well, to an extent, I mean, a lot of people are echoing this sentiment, and I have a few macro questions too. But Ashish, just before that, Prakash enumerated very well the key things that have happened. Anything that you believe has been a key change for people who are trading through your platform?
So now what happens is the regulations, the way it has been framed, much of things will depend on the operational efficiency of the broker. Now, like for example, if a customer sells today and he has to buy against that, supposing he wants to sell 100 shares of HDFC Bank and buy 100 shares of Reliance. Now, it has to be ensured that the broker does an early pay into the clearing corporation of the shares which are sold. Against that, he can allow the customer to buy. Now, it depends on the operational efficiency of the uh, broker, how fast he can do the early pay in, or how at the end of the day he can do that early pay in. So that's a different change. Secondly, the experience of customer changes. See, earlier the customer were used in case of getting margins against shares. Either the shares were in the linked demat account through power of attorney, wherein he used to get instant limits. So it could be a microsecond, it could be one, or the limits were already available. Now, with this pledge mechanism at its nascent stage, you may see customers getting limits against these shares, maybe a 1 day's time, maybe 3 hours, 4 hours, depending on how the systems have matured. But I think so that instant microsecond and timing the market with the rates will be a difficult exercise given that we have the new margining system in place. BTST, as told earlier, BTST could quite possibly, in some cases, may not go through. While customers were used to this, that in fact, I should not call it BTST. It should be called buy today, sell any day. So probably buy today, sell tomorrow, sell T plus 2, sell T plus 3, sell T plus 4, T plus 5. But yes, BTST to a certain extent gets affected depending on the margins which the customer has given at an initial stage. So while there is a lot of education which brokers are trying to give customers, and a lot of system changes have happened given these two implementations simultaneously. So there is
Got
some
it.
bit of maybe understanding gap or maybe education that needs to be given to the customer. But yes, both systems are for the safety of investors, but initial training issues are still there.
Yeah, teething problems. Let's call it them. Let's
Yes,
call them that. Now
yes.
let's try and tackle each of these. You guys have enumerated the larger things. I just want to go one by one, and then have a bunch of queries. Maybe we'll try and answer some of those. I do hope you guys have some time on your hands.
Yeah,
Firstly,
yeah,
about
absolutely.
thank you. So
Hmm.
about the pledging of the holdings under the new pledge system, Prakash, I'll come to you. The thing that stood out for me is that holdings will now not be transferred to the broker account, right? They kind of stay in the account, but a customer has to pledge shares. Now, I want some clarity out here. One of the brokers that I spoke to off air was telling me that they are advising their clients to pledge all the shares that are there because it won't make a difference, and therefore they will have the margin requirement to trade as and when, instead of trying to do a fresh pledge when there is a need that arises. Can you tell us a bit about this and any other point that is important out here?
Yeah, absolutely. See, what happens is that, today, for example, I'll just take an example and explain this.
Sure,
I
sure,
have
sure.
1 lakh worth of shares. Now, till 1st of September, all this 1 lakh worth of shares, if approved, were allowed to be taken as limit. Now, once it goes to the DP and it now comes into the pledge system, I, as a customer, has an option of choosing 1 lakh full or partial. But why? And we are also recommending all our customers to do it 100%. The reason is that this pledging and getting the benefit, as Ashish mentioned, is not instant. So if today I see an opportunity in the market, I can't use it because first I will have to go and pledge. It will take few hours to one particular day to reflect and get benefit, and then I can. So if I don't want to waste that time, it is important that I do it 100% at one go. And it is not just for the shares that I already hold. It is also for incremental buying. So if I bought something tomorrow, it is better that the moment the share comes and it is settled, it is better that I go and pledge it. Because we don't know, as a customer, I don't know that when market will give me an opportunity to trade. So it is better that
Got
I
it.
do it 100% at one go.
Okay. Is there any danger to this, Prakash, if I'm pledging the shares? Because a lot of people feel that pledging is a taboo word, right? So I don't want
Correct.
to pledge my shares. Now, is there a danger to this? How should people approach this?
See, the only danger in this is that if at all I take a leverage or something or face a loss, then brokers, because it is pledged and we also give limit, then in case customer goes into loss and it goes out of money, then we have to sell those pledged shares and recover the money. Now, most of the, or rather every top broker does it in absolutely 100% transparent way and abiding by the rules regulation. But if in case a broker misuses that to sell it, then that can be a one downside. But that's very rare right now because there are too many systems in control for for regulators and exchanges and depositors to actually check this whether it is being misused. So I think maybe 0.1% danger, but 99.9% it is absolutely safe and in the interest of customer.
Okay. Now, of course, before I talk about the other things as well, Ashish, you want to come in? Is there anything else that we have missed which you think one should add? And part two of my question to you, Ashish, would be that some people would have the opinion that the things that used to happen via the power of attorney, which in a couple of cases, maybe for lack of a better word, were misused, etc., will now slowly cease to exist by virtue of the new pledging system because shares don't leave the customer's account in the first place. How would you react to that? And of course, if we have missed anything else, then please speak about that too, as far as the pledging thing goes.
So as far as margin pledge goes, the concept is absolutely in favor of the customer, ensuring customer safety of security. So so the whole idea behind this pledge mechanism was that brokers somewhere, I mean, some of the brokers misutilized power of attorney and encashed customer shares, and the money was misutilized. So that's the whole genesis which happened initially. Now SEBI, in an endeavor to ensure that these shares do not leave customer's account, and there is a clear-cut, transparent mechanism wherein the customer can actually go ahead and see, yes, it has been marked in favor of broker, but however the shares are lying in my demat account. So the system is absolutely transparent. There is no second thought on it. Yes, customers can continue pledging, but as said earlier, in case the customer leverages excess, then yes, the broker will have the right to invoke the shares, and yes, obviously he can sell those shares and get it. So there is no harm actually, I feel, in getting the pledge done. But however, initially the system is at its nascent stage. The time taken is higher, so you have to plan properly so that you can get payments. That's the only thing which initially the customers are. I am sure that going ahead in maybe 3-4 months time, you will have a seamless earlier with the integration of API.
Got it. The other thing, Ashish, just one quick follow-up, and not that it will happen with some of the marquee brokers, but I wonder if there is a risk and if there is a way to avoid this. Somebody was mentioning this, and we kind of took note of it, that in the corporate action events, right, where in the existing pledge system, stocks were held in the broker's collateral account, the broker was the recipient of the dividends, bonus rights, etc., and they used to seamlessly transfer. Now that the shares don't leave the account at all, that is also taken care of automatically. Would that be a valid point, or you think that was anyways happening? Ashish?
Yes, that's a valid. However, earlier when the shares were held in POA, which was in the demat account of the customer. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, please carry on. Yeah, please carry on.
Hello. Yeah, you can hear. So earlier what used to happen is shares used to lie in the customer's demat account only, which was held by way of power of attorney, so that some brokers used to keep it in their beneficiary. So over there, the corporate action had to be transferred. And typically, once this TDS on dividend has started, now the problem actually enhanced, wherein the TDS was deducted, shares lying in broker's beneficiary. Now, how do you pass the benefit of TDS? So with the pledge system coming in, yes, definitely. All the corporate actions in favor of the customer, all the issues with respect to dividend, split, rights, any corporate action, it actually lies with the customer, shares in the customer's account. So that would be taken care of by the system.
Okay. Prakash, just one quick follow-up and one more clarity that I needed. It's a question that came up. Was that the pledge being allowed for all approved securities? Now, would this differ from brokerage to brokerage, or would there be a standard list?
So there is a standard list given by exchanges what are approved and what are not approved. But as a prudent risk management practice, brokers do apply their logic in terms of they filter it further. So if exchange is allowing approximately 1,000 stocks, then there is obviously some amount of risk management rules that we apply and reduce it. So will be different stocks in terms of approved and non-approved at the broker's end. But I think sooner or later it has to get aligned and be a common list of stocks which are there both as a part of exchange list and as a part of brokers list.
Got it. Okay, now to the other big elephant in the room, which is the margin system, because there is a lot of questions that we've received around those. Ashish, can I start off with you? Does the quantum of margin change? We were reading one of the blogs which says that the margin requirement would continue to remain the same until September 1st. After that, it changes. Can you tell us a bit about this, Ashish? Okay, I think we've lost Ashish. Maybe Prakash, can I pose that question to you? The quantum of margin requirement, has it changed after September 1st? Or what are the changes?
See, the margin requirement has not changed, because the margin required to take a derivative contract, or margin required to trade in intraday cash or buy a delivery is absolutely same. There is no change there. What has changed is basically an upfront margin system in case of selling of shares. That too in certain circumstances, but mostly the margin system is remaining absolutely same at this point in time.
Got it. So Prakash, can you simplify this for us? Because the biggest question in the minds of most people is, what happens after I sell my shares? Let's say I had the margin to, I believe the one change is, of course, and I don't know what your view is that for a lot of old time clients who trade through traditional brokerage, and we have Ashish back as well, but Prakash, this question is to you. That for a lot of people who are trading through the old time brokers, their view was, share मेरा है तो बेचने के लिए मैं पैसा क्यों दूं? Now there is a change that has happened, right? Can you tell us the change and the efficacy or the reason for the same?
Correct. See, the change is that today, if at all I have to sell, so I'll just talk pre-1st September. So if I have to sell share, it was a very seamless exercise. A customer didn't know, he just has to go on the platform and sell it. Or if you are doing traditional brokers, you call up your broker and the order is executed. You don't even come to know at the back end that how shares are moving from your DP account to the broker's pool account, or from pool account to the pains and all that at the exchanges. So it was absolutely seamless. Now what has happened is that the shares the credit of the shares sold can only be given if the paying is done on the T-day, which is that there is a window of the same day paying to happen. That window was earlier, I think, around 4:30. Now it has been extended up to 9 p.m. So if a broker is able to do a same day paying, then he can give a benefit of the shares sold to a customer instantly. So if I preempt that I would be able to 100% do it on the T-day, I will give the benefit of the shares sold instantly. But because of any reason, broker is not able to do a T-day paying, or then what happens is that the penalty is charged on the broker. So broker will normally not give the benefit of the shares sold to the customer next day. They will wait for 2 days to happen. Now, in today's environment, if at all your systems and technology is absolutely proper, this is a no-brainer. It can happen. But initially, for last 2-3 days, a lot of brokers are not able to do T-day payments because the paying payout through exchanges itself is coming, which normally comes at 1:30 in the afternoon. It's coming at around 3 o'clock in the morning. So there is right now there is a change, but then after that, if a broker is able to do a T-day paying, then the credit of the shares sold can instantly happen to the customers.
Okay, are you able to do that right now, Prakash, or are you facing some teething issues as well at 5paisa?
We are facing teething issues. We have not been able to do it for last 2-3 days. Because the entire from CCL to brokers, all that cycle is disrupted. So things like paying payout, which used to happen somewhere from 11 o'clock to 1:30 in the afternoon, now it's stretching from 5 o'clock in the evening to 3 o'clock in the morning, and there is no visibility. So right now we are not able to.
Okay, Ashish, what's been your experience in these 2 days when it comes to this settlement? And again, that's the same question that everybody asks: for how long will this continue? Because most people are saying that, as I told Prakash, has asked Prakash as well, that मैं अपने shares बेचने के लिए पैसा क्यों दूं?
See, so in terms of last 2 days issues, it's an infrastructure issue across all brokers. The same issue happens because there are dependencies on the depositories and there are dependencies on the clearing corporation. Now, from the first point which Prakash said, so earlier what used to happen, see, margins were paid. So there are 3 persons in this cycle. Okay, understand: the customer, the broker, and the clearing corporation, where the settlement or the margins are to be paid. So earlier, broker used to pay and understand the margining system because they were professionals in this method. But with the upfront margin coming in, now the customers also have to understand how the margining system works, which was actually not there initially. So that is the first change that has happened, wherein every buy or sell requires upfront margining. However, if it now clearly depends on the operational efficiency of the broker, if he is able to do T-day paying to the clearing corporation, and then after that, whether he is able to do early paying also for the customer to buy any other shares against the shares sold. So the shift, which was from a product perspective, now is moving to operational efficiency of the broker. So that's the drastic change. Yeah.
Do you guys believe that eventually, let's say, because you're speaking about operational efficiency, that do you guys believe that you will, I'm just speak for yourselves, maybe not for the industry, but do you guys believe that you will reach that stage wherein you will give on the T-day the credit? I'll start with you, Ashish. This is a quick question, and then we'll follow up with other questions.
Right now, also we are giving, in most of the cases, we are giving T-day credit to the customer because we were able to do early paying of these shares. Okay. But last 2 days have been the paying payout timings have actually gone almost so you can say 12 hours apart what used to happen earlier.
Okay, so Prakash, same question to you, just very quickly. Do you think it will happen, that T-day paying would happen?
Definitely it will happen. I think, see, initially when the entire system is getting changed and everyone is learning real time, so there is always disruption. I feel a couple of days more, and when this week pass by, I think from next week things will come back to normal, because customers would also have understood. There are a lot of communication and training and all that thing that all of those brokers have done it. I'm sure that the systems at depositories and clearing corporations will also stabilize in next 2-3 days. So I think, barring some disruption in the current week, I think from next week onwards things should streamline.
Okay, just a couple of follow-up questions, and these queries have come in now, so maybe people tried to understand but couldn't. So Ashish, I would urge you to probably try and simplify the answer that you were giving. The query that is coming is whether one needs to provide, why does one need to provide margin if they want to sell shares from their demat holding? You were talking about how customers need to understand now the whole process. Can you just simplify this for us, Ashish?
So typically, I will tell you, typically what the SEBI circular or the regulation says, ki any kind of trade, whether it is a buy or a sell trade, you have to give upfront margin. So that is around about, say right now they have specified 20% plus additional margin plus M2M, which has to be paid by T plus 2 day. So if a customer probably comes for selling of shares, so the requirement is 20% margin. So the entire regulation says that way. However, the regulation provides an exemption in case the broker is able to do the paying same day and paying same day. So I think so for selling, pure selling, I don't think so. Given the current situation, brokers are asking for upfront margin. There they are saying that as long as I am able, as long as they have the operational efficiency to pull the shares same day, that is T-day, into their pool account, they are allowing the customer to sell the shares. So, so on the ground level situation is that in case of fresh selling, while the regulation says margining is required, however, they have given an exemption in case the shares can be pulled in on T-day itself. So brokers are doing that, and they are allowing the customers to sell shares purely without margins.
Okay. So, and Prakash, I presume what you're saying is that eventually when everybody moves to, or the operationally efficient brokers move to the T-day, then the question of asking for upfront margins for selling will not come. Is my understanding correct?
It will not come. Yes, absolutely.
It will not come. Okay. The other question that is coming from a gentleman called Kri Ravi, I'm presuming it's a gentleman and not a lady, about why am I not able to use the profits to trade intraday?
Yeah.
Any thoughts, either of you? Okay.
Yeah.
Prakash, yeah, you can start.
Yeah. So it's a very genuine question, because all the profit arised out of my intraday trade was allowed to be used for sequential purchases, either in derivative or cash. Not is not allowed. See, the whole system, what has changed is there is something called as crystallized and uncrystallized. When you say crystallized, it means what SEBI and exchanges and deposits are saying, that till the time the settlement happens, the benefit of that settlement can't be given before the settlement. So today everything works on a T-day, though the settlement is on T plus 2. So brokers give limit on T-day, the credit of the sell is given on T-day, the profit arising is given on the T-day, the loss arising is deducted on the T-day. So for customer, everything was real time. At the back end, settlement was for 2 days. So now what the rule has changed is that neither the credit nor the debit, neither the profit nor the losses, nothing has to be given a benefit or taken out from the system on the T date. Let the system settle after T plus 2. So if you are getting a profit, that's a notional profit. The profit will come to your ledger after the settlement is done. So once the settlement is done, then you can use it. That is the change right now. So everything which is uncrystallized can't be done. Everything which is crystallized can be used.
Okay, well, I hope that answers the question. Now, Ashish, what about the margin for selling shares, and what does one do with those for the derivative positions? A lot of clarity is sought by people for the derivative positions as well as to what will happen. Can you kind of just briefly lay it out for us?
So derivatives, practically we had an upfront margining reporting on derivatives initially also. So from a derivative perspective, I don't think so much changes. The upfront margining, similar to, I mean, what has been introduced in cash segment was earlier also there in the derivative segment. So customer, the only thing that changes probably from a derivative perspective, which is very important, is that now shares only marked as pledge can be used as margins and not otherwise. So earlier, whether you had shares in your Demat account or you had shares in the broker's Demat account could be used as margins. Now only shares which are in margin pledge can be used. Other things in derivatives right now remain the same, which was there earlier. So nothing changes as of now in the margining system, which was earlier there in derivative segment also. But yes, the margins in the form of shares can only be in form of margin pledge and not anything else.
Okay. Prakash, a blog that I was reading said that while holdings sold can be used to trade FNO, new FNO positions can be taken after exiting the existing FNO positions. I mean, is there some new rule that has happened at all? Though Ashish said that there are no changes, but is there something that I'm missing?
See, today, if you sell an existing derivative position, either it is an options that you have bought and you have just squared off, or the futures that you have squared off, the margins were immediately released for you to buy anything else. But now, what change has happened is that if I have a options buying position, I square off the option buying position, then I can only use that money which is released to buy only another option. I can't use that money to take any other derivative contract or even any other cash position. So that has
Why?
changed.
Why?
That's what the rule says, because it is again the credit of that option sell is not crystallized because the settlement happens on T plus 1.
Got it. Okay. So the basic rule, underlying rule is the same, you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay, fine. So, well, that probably answers some of the questions. Ashish, just one point on which I think Prakash mentioned at the start, but I would want you to kind of give a bit of detail. I don't know if we have Ashish or no, maybe we don't. Okay. I think we have him. Okay, Ashish. So using the proceeds from the BTST trades to trade derivatives. Now, have the norms changed? Because I think there is only 60% of the value now eligible. Can you just simplify the whole thing for us?
So I'll tell you. So BTSG probably the understanding was, see, as long as you have given 40% margin. So minimum margin which is specified by SEBI is 20% on the buy or 20% margin. So if you buy, you have to give 20% margin, and if you sell, then you have to give 20% margin. So total becomes 40%. So as long as you have paid 40% margin, then you can buy today and sell tomorrow. And the balance 60%, if you have given margins, you can utilize it towards F&O. However, there is a catch in this one, wherein shares which have additional margin or mark to market have to be bought in by T plus 2 basis. So now wherever there are shares which has additional margin or mark to market, this rule may have to be changed, wherein margins might be slightly higher. However, given the A group securities and most of the better securities, this rule actually will play well, wherein you give upfront 40% to the broker, then you can do buy today, sell tomorrow. Then it again depends on the internal risk management of the broker.
Can I request, Ashish? Can I request that if we can explain this with a bit of an example? Let's assume Reliance price is 2,000 and I have 100 shares. Now, please explain this with an example.
So supposing 2,000 Reliance shares and 100 rupees. So we will go with buy today, sell tomorrow. So supposing 2 lakh rupees is the value. As long as I give you a 40% upfront margining for buying, say supposing I give you a check of say 40% of 2 lakhs is around about 80,000 rupees. As long as I'm able to give you 80,000 rupees, then I am able to buy today and sell tomorrow. So 20%, 40,000 would be on the buy side, and 20,000, 40,000 again would be on the sell side. So if I'm paying you upfront 80,000, then buy today, sell tomorrow will go, as long as the slip doesn't has additional margin or mark to market.
Got it. And then
So
the proceeds, what, and let's assume Reliance next day is 2,100 rupees. So I bought stuff worth 2 lakhs. Next day I'm selling worth 2,10,000, right? So what is the quantum of money that I can use for new trades? That's the question. I think that I think 2 or 3 people have.
So say supposing you have bought and sold, so it depends on the initial margin that you have given. So like Prakash earlier said, now it becomes on settled basis. So now neither the buy side is settled nor the sell side is settled, because settlement happens on T+2. So if you have given 40%, then only you can buy today and sell tomorrow. From selling tomorrow, whatever proceeds you get, you may not be able to do anything, because unless and until it is settled, you will not be able to use that money. So if you have given, supposing 60% upfront margin, hypothetically, then the balance 20% you can still be able to use to buy something.
Oh, but why would I give 60% margin? I mean, I might as well give only 40%, because the 20% I can anyways keep for further trades, right? Sorry,
Yes,
am I missing something?
No. That's how it is. I mean,
okay. Prakash, you want to add something to this? Because I think the question that just came up on the tweet as well right now, that is BTST effectively dead or very, very cumbersome now? And I don't know if you can use it with an example.
Yeah. So see, BTST, as Ashish mentioned the process, if at all you are into 100% cash and carry, it means I had 2 lakh rupees, I come and give you 20% of that, then I can only buy, which is like if I pay 40,000 rupees, I can only buy. Pay 80,000 rupees, I then can buy and I can sell. If I make profit, I can't use that profit to take any other position. So I have to give you 80,000 rupees to at least do a BTST in for 2 lakh worth. Now the problem is that BTST was used in many ways. So for example, if you are giving a leverage on the carry forward basis in the margin funding. So on 1 lakh rupees, you are anyways allowing 3 lakh rupees worth of shares to be bought. So that 1 lakh, so now you have a 2 lakh debit and 3 lakh. And then you try to sell next day. It won't happen. So earlier, everything was happening automatically. Now there are conditions. If you give 40%, you can do it. If you don't do it, you don't give it, you can't do it. So that is a bigger change.
I get your point. Okay. And last question then, therefore, on this, before we just ask the last couple of questions, just to get clarity. So let's assume I gave the 20% and 20% margins, and I sell Reliance using the same example as a profit. And therefore, the total amount due to me technically is 2,10,000. When can I use this money? Will it be eligible? The entire amount will be available only after T+2, or how does it work?
The same amount that you have sold, you have to remove the profit, but the amount that you have sold, that amount can be used to purchase anything in the cash segment. But if you want to use the same for taking a derivative position, it is not allowed.
Okay, fair call. One more question, and then there are a couple of macro questions. But Ashish, to you, is there some change on the intraday leverages in any fashion whatsoever that people have to take for intraday trades? Sorry, Ashish, I can't hear you. I don't know if you are on mute. Can you just repeat your answer, Ashish? I couldn't hear you. No. Prakash, can you hear Ashish?
Yeah, no, I can't hear Ashish.
Yeah, precisely. Okay, we'll just try and connect that audio. Prakash, you want to come in on that question? I somehow can't hear Ashish right now.
Sure. So as far as the leverage is concerned, right now there are absolutely no changes. The leverages are exactly same as it was earlier. But the only thing is, today, if you want to enjoy the leverage, you need to pledge. That's the only change.
I get your point. Okay. Now, Prakash, okay, Ashish, are you back? Can you give me a count, please?
I think there
is some glitch with the audio. I somehow can't hear Ashish. But anyways, we'll try and do that, because there are a couple of questions left. Hopefully we can get Ashish's audio by then. Prakash, is there anything that we are missing out? Something that I haven't asked you? I have a couple of other than broad brush questions after that. But is there something that we're missing out? Something that is important?
Yeah, I think what is important right now for all the customers is to go through these changes, because as Ashish rightly said, that it was earlier a broker who was supposed to understand all the rules regulation, but now even customers will have to understand the new rules regulation. So it is very important for investors and customers to go through all the literature which brokers have put on their website, on their platform, how this entire thing works. There would be some scenarios which may not have been covered in the FAQs, because a lot of scenarios are not envisaged. But I think it is very important for investors to go through these and understand how this change is going to impact their trading.
I get your point. Somebody made this point. A broker was messaging this to me, Prakash, that when 8 custodians do the clearing of trades for institutional customers, why not trust them to clear the trades for the non-institutional customers as well? Because that's only about 15-20% of the overall volume. Is there a merit to the argument? Can this be done? Why is it not done?
I mean, definitely, because I'm not from the institutional side, so I don't have the entire knowledge of how that custodian thing works. But yeah, I mean, from a third person perspective, definitely it can work. And if they're able to do a settlement for institutional clients, why can't that be done for a retail client? Obviously, but the only difference between institutional and retail is that the volume on the share side is higher, number of customers is very less. Here is absolutely opposite. So I don't know whether custodian will be able to handle the large volumes of customers.
I get your point.
Yeah, technically, I think it can be done.
But would that be a better alternative to maybe even have more custodians to do it, as opposed to trust the 400, 500 odd brokers to do it? I mean, do you think that there is merit here in this argument?
I think the current system, what is being laid out, is proper. I don't see that operationally there will be challenges going ahead. I think what has happened is, because this has been done in a haste, that all the technological development, implementation, learning, understanding, all has happened in like a 72-hour or a 4 or 5 day kind of a window, and that has created more problems. As I said, that if this week passes by, everyone is working tirelessly. I mean, the teams have not slept for last 3-4 nights. That if we do it, then I think from next week onwards things will stabilize, and the system which is now being built will be easily implementable, and people will also understand and adapt to the new ways of doing trading.
Okay, well, Prakash, take a moment to thank you for joining in today and trying and answer all of these queries. Hopefully this helped. I mean, I don't, Ashish is probably still not back with us, but I thank Ashish as well for being a part of this show and trying and answer some of the queries, though I do think that there'll be a lot more that will come along the way. But thanks for trying and simplifying this for us. And
thank you,
both of you. I really appreciate both of your times. And viewers, thanks for tuning into this very special edition of Ask PQ.